Hello! Today is my 4-month Spain anniversary, so I just wanted to talk about how my first 4 months have gone. Let's go to the beach. My goodness, it's sunny today. I don't really want to hide my eyes, but if I don't wear my sunglasses, I'm gonna be like this. Sorry. So I arrived in Madrid in October. I had met this language partner, Tanya, on conversationexchange.com. So we had been talking a few weeks, and she lives in Madrid. And I told her when I was arriving, and she was like, we can go out. I took a nap, and then I went and met her friends that night. Okay, so that first week in Madrid was so fun. I tried my first tortilla, my first croquetas, my first vermouth, lots of jamón. So that week I did a walking tour in Spanish. I saw El Prado. I took a day trip to Toledo and Segovia. I just remember that week walking around in Madrid, just feeling this, I don't have a job. I can literally do whatever I want every day. And I felt this lightness. When you've been planning and saving for something really life-changing, and then you're there and you're in it, it's like, wow, this is happening. Well, after my week in Madrid, I took a bus up to Santander. Santander is green. It was rainy. Met another language partner. I hung out with him and his girlfriend. I would say Spanish people in general are great at, they see someone, oh, this person is on their own. Let's make sure they can be social with us. Let's make sure they're with people. We hung out, we played pool, we went for drinks. So welcoming. Santander, people are a little bit more reserved. The North Coast culture. I remember I felt a little bit lonely. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Anyway, I moved on. I booked a BlaBlaCar to go to Salamanca. Salamanca, I remember, was freezing. I was freezing because when I packed for Spain, I was thinking like, it's gonna be warm. It's like the Caribbean, right? Like, this was my thickest jacket that I had. Anyway, I was freezing. Beautiful architecture. Salamanca is very much a university town. You can see Salamanca in like a day. It's really not that big. Then from Salamanca, I took another BlaBlaCar down to Sevilla. Wow, like Seville, it's like dripping with the opulence of the 16th century still. See it in the buildings and just the beauty of the city. It's definitely one of those places that people are up all night. Streets are alive. Just a gorgeous city, and there's a lot I didn't see, so I'll have to go back. So from Sevilla, I went to Granada. So Granada is in the mountains. It's very dry, pretty hippie vibe, university town, a lot of mountain bikers, a lot of joggers, really great street musicians, street performers. Granada is amazing because it is one of those places in Spain that they still give you like real tapas with every single drink that you order. They're like substantial tapas, so you just go have drinks and like it becomes your meal because you get a tapa every time. Oh my gosh, it's getting warm. I think I'm gonna take this jacket off. Spring is in the air. So then I took another BlaBlaCar from Granada to Valencia. So people ask me why I chose Valencia, and I say Madrid was too big, Barcelona too expensive and too much Catalan and too big, and the other cities just kind of too small. Valencia, I was like, man, it's like, it has plenty to do, but it's not overwhelming. You have the Mediterranean Sea just right there. It's sunny almost all the time, super bikeable. Everything just seems really close. Like, everything's like 15 or 20 minutes away. At the most, I might bike 30 minutes to like get home. I already got like so much sand in my shoe. There's a certain value in just throwing yourself into it and figuring it out as you go, but also could have had a smoother move if I had known some things before I moved. Okay, like I did not know how competitive apartment shopping could be. So my first week I was like so stressed, like all the time I was online looking for places, messaging people. Mostly they didn't message me back, and if they did, it was like, oh, what's your resident number? And I was like, I don't have one. And then I messaged the landlord of my place, and he called me and was like super nice and understanding. I really lucked out there. Then I had to get my padrón, which is like, even for Spanish people, it's just this bureaucratic soup. You need to call them Monday morning and they'll hang up on you like 20 times. I did do my padrón appointment. I was terrified. I was terrified that I wouldn't have the right documents. I had to go downtown to the government building, stand in line, and like everyone was stressed out. Kind of a strange process, but I got it, and I was like in Zelda, like da-na-na-na. Because then with the padrón, I could get my NIE number. So I also had to buy insurance. I had to buy insurance for the entire year. It's like 50 or 60 euros a month compared to the US, where like the absolute lowest you might pay for private insurance is like over $100. This seemed affordable. So anyway, it was like one thing after the next. Get a padrón, get my NIE number, get my health insurance, get a Spanish phone number. One thing I wish I had known was that if you were gonna get a Spanish bank account, a lot of times they'll want to sell you things like a product, and it's usually going to be health insurance. So if you're able to wait to get your health insurance until you go to get a Spanish bank account. But yeah, it's really stressful. It really gave me a new appreciation for immigrants in the US. Like I worked with immigrants. I definitely have more empathy now, because navigating this system in a language that's not yours, it's incredibly stressful. My first friend in Valencia was Elena, who was a friend of my language partner and friend Tanya. Basically, Tanya set us up on a blind date. And then I spent a lot of time going to meetup groups, whether they were language exchanges or like board game nights. And also I met some more language partners. Okay, so then it was December, and I was a little nervous because the holidays were coming around, and I was like, ugh, am I going to be depressed? Am I going to be lonely? I'm going to miss my family. And yes, there were moments where I was like, I'm so far away. But then another language partner I met, Gina, like I said, Spanish people are like, you can't be alone, come with us. She was like, what are you doing Christmas Eve? Come to my parents' house for dinner, and you can stay over. You can't be alone on Christmas Eve. So I did that. It was amazing. Food was delicious. And then before I knew it, it was New Year's Eve, which was the day I moved into my apartment. And then the next day, my brother and my mom arrived, and they were here for 10 days. So good to feel like I had this piece of my home. It was also weird. It was like a merging of two worlds. Like, oh my God, my family is here in Spain, but this is like my little world. But now they're here. They're part of it, and it just filled me up. I feel like I'm topped up, so I can make it several more months before I'm able to go home and visit the rest of my family. Okay, so how's my Spanish going? Oh, I think it's going pretty well. In December, I took classes at El Carmen Spanish School, so Monday through Friday, 2 hours a day. Every day I try to study on my own, and then it was kind of my goal to do at least one social thing in Spanish every day. And then after I moved, I wanted to find a new Spanish school that was closer to me. So the University of Valencia has a Center de Idiomas, a language center. Yeah, I took their placement test, and they said I was in C1, which is like the highest. I mean, there's C2, but the highest level they offer is C1. And I was like, no way. I feel so smart, even though I know I have a ways to go. All right, and then work, money. I had saved up enough money to not work for like a year, but after several months of not working, I was like just very conservative with money, and it just feels weird to only be spending and have nothing coming in. I also like working. If it's work that I like working. So I put some announcements out there. The private English teacher, just like an online tutor. And the first week I started, I had like 3 students, and the second week I had like 6 or 7. It's my 3rd week teaching online. I have like 6 or 7 weekly students. All my students are adults. They have really interesting jobs. Like one teaches design thinking in Barcelona. One is like a civil engineer in Madrid. One is a psychologist at a prison in Alicante, but she's also a model. She's so fun. And then one works for like Calvin Klein. I think a lot of adults in Spain, they have a lot of knowledge of English, but they have had just so few chances to speak English, because the English instruction in Spain there's just not a lot of communication, not a lot of speaking. So it's really what they need. I had an interview for Berkeley College. It's an American university. They have a campus here, and they wanted me to interview for this job, and like all of the emails and correspondence was in English. And then we did the interview on Zoom, and there was like 2 Spanish people, and it was all in Spanish, and I was like, I'm really critical of my Spanish, but other people aren't, you know. It's like people understand me and I understand them, and yeah, I make mistakes, but that's normal. So there's a little update. First 4 months in Spain, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable than I did at the beginning. So goals for this spring: make videos. Check. It's actually a lot of work. You better appreciate. So work enough to break even. I want to build a website, a WordPress website for English teaching. That's funny. They're like, "Hola, YouTube." They're talking to you. If you like following my story for whatever reason, please like and subscribe. Thank you for celebrating my 4-month Spain anniversary with me. Let me know in the comments, have you moved to a new country, and how did your first few months go? What were your challenges? What was exciting? Until next time, bye-bye.